Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are a regular and if you are new, hi, I'm Shuba and welcome to my channel. It's mid-July and during this time I feel like there's a lot of content being pushed out centered around mid-year resets, mid-year bookish freakout tags, different videos where people can reflect on their past and set goals and expectations for the next half of the year. I have been sitting on this video for quite some time. I know nothing is forced and nothing should feel forced, but as a booktuber, I feel like now is a time where I should be reflecting on my past and sharing my mid-year freakout tag with you all. And if I'm going to be honest, I am dreading it. I don't want to. I don't want to film this video and answer these questions. I just feel like I spend so much time on other social media platforms talking about the books that I've read and if I love them, if I don't. If you are a regular, you would know how I feel about these books. I feel like I would just feel pretty repetitive, and I don't want you to sit here and watch me say the same thing over and over again that you probably would have seen on Instagram, on TikTok, or on YouTube in a previous video. I haven't seen this done on YouTube, and maybe I'm the first, maybe I'm not, but I want to change up my mid-year reflection book video. If you follow me on TikTok and or Instagram, you will know that every single month I make a video where I recommend yes, no, or maybe every single book that I read that specific month. I'll do that each month, and I absolutely love filming those videos. They're quick, they're fun. Sometimes I give some commentary on the side, but it's a good snapshot, an idea of whether I like that book or not. I thought I would bring that to YouTube. So today we are going to go through every single book that I read so far in these 6 months, so January and to June. And I will say either yes, no, or maybe if I recommend the book or not. If it's a maybe, I might give a sentence or two. Okay, who am I kidding? If it's a yes, no, or maybe, I will put in my 2 cents outside of the word. I think this is going to be more fun and engaging for me to film and to reflect on every single book that I've read so far. This is a video that I would much rather film, and I'm excited about it. And that's the whole point of being on this platform. I don't want to feel forced to create content that I don't want to create, because then I'm not going to put my 100% into it. So without further ado, we're going to get started. I track everything on Fable, so I'm going to share my recording right here so we will go through this together. I thought before we started, I could share some stats that I have for myself. Also, if you don't follow me on Fable, you should. I update what I'm reading on the regular, like constantly. Quick summary for this year so far, I've read 62 books. I love these reader summaries that they create. Mine says I'm a romance historian, which is kind of shocking to me. I have been reading a lot more historical fiction-esque stories than I have last year. It says, your shelves pulse with heart-pounding love, danger, and history. Through it all, you relish stories that explore emotional truths and complex relationships. I'm gonna give that a thumbs up. I think that's pretty cool. And best streak is 198 days. I've read every single day this year. I know, I'm amazing. And my average rating is 4 stars. That seems pretty, I can agree with that. Pretty good. All right, so now that I finished my 62 books, let's go to my library and my finished. And I'm gonna scroll all the way down to January and we'll get started. I'm trying not to look at my ratings and what I gave them. I'm just going to read the name of the book, and then we're going to yes, no, or maybe. I feel like I need to get more comfortable for this. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but we have 62 books that I need to get through. Misery by Stephen King. Yes, this is my first Stephen King after Fairy Tale. I felt like it was my first true horror by him, and I loved it. I also loved the movie. The Wedding People by Alison Espach. Absolutely, yes. This was heartwarming. There's found family. This is about friendship and love, and it's so good. Check the trigger warnings. Check the trigger warnings. Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros and Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. These were rereads for me so I could read Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. Maybe there's better fantasies out there, and Onyx Storm, we'll get to it, but it was a disappointment. Unromance by Erin Connor, one of my absolute favorite books of this year, The Perfect Romance. I loved everything about this friends to lovers romance. The tension, the banter. Oh, it was perfect. Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. Meh. I don't know why it says Italian edition. Maybe for that. Babylonia by Costanza Casati. Costanza Casati is one of my favorite authors. After reading Clytemnestra, this one is a yes. It's not as good as Clytemnestra, but I still think that this is a story that everyone should read. I think Costanza Casati is underrated. The Crash by Frida McFadden, probably one of the worst Frida McFadden's books that I've read, so no. Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare, my first Cassandra Clare book. I recommend this. Yes, it was really good. Political intrigue. I loved the characters. I have the second book and I need to pick that up this year, or second half of this year. Homeseeking by Carissa Chen. Yes, one of my favorite books of the year. This is a historical fiction story with romance, and I was so surprised how much I enjoyed this because of all of the historical aspect that we have in here. It's so good, and I'm doing a bad job at explaining it, but this is rapid fire. How to End a Love Story by Yulin Kwong. Maybe. I was underwhelmed by this book, but I know that a lot of people like her as an author. I think there was potential. I just don't think that the story was executed well. Blood Over Bright Haven by M.L. Wang. Yes, absolutely. Read this book. Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. This is a book that not everyone enjoyed, but I say yes, I really liked it. I didn't think it was too spicy either. Actually, I didn't think it was as spicy as she said it would be. The Favorites by Lane Fargo. Yes, if you enjoy Daisy Jones and the Six, if you enjoy toxic sports romance, then yes, you should read it. Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys. This is a YA historical fiction, and if you like the Titanic or you enjoy learning about overseas history, you should read this. Definitely underrated. Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. Maybe Chelsea. Maybe if you're watching this, ooh. Maybe leaning more towards yes. A lot of people really enjoy Brandon Sanderson and put him on a pedestal, and I personally think that he shouldn't be on a pedestal. There's other fantasy books that I'm more obsessed with. Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. Yes, absolutely. Nocticadia by Carrie Lake. This is a dark academia romance, and I am so shocked that I enjoyed this as much as I did. It's definitely not for everybody, so maybe. The Husbands by Holly Gramazio. Yes, this was surprisingly really quirky and funny. It ended up being a little too repetitive based on the premise, but I still really enjoyed it. Bloodmark by Tracy Deonn. Yes. The Dissonance by Sean Hamill. I was not expecting to enjoy this book as much as I did. It reminded me a little bit of It and Stranger Things. Yes. Maybe leaning more towards yes. Left of Forever by Tara DeWitt, my first Tara DeWitt book I've read, and yes, I really enjoyed it. It's a second chance romance, and I am a sucker for second chance romance. First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. I am probably the odd one out. I didn't like this book as much as everyone else did, so maybe. The Reformatory by Tanana Reeve Dew. Yes. Oh my gosh. Everything about this story. This needs to be a must read of your year, of your life. Read it. Set Piece by Lana Schwartz. Surprisingly, yes. If you like short, sweet romances that get to the point but also have substance, yes. The Ex-Girlfriend Murder Club by Gloria Chow. Yes, I really enjoy this book. This is a cozy comedic mystery, and I had the best time reading it. If you enjoy John Tucker Must Die, John Tucker Must Die is one of my favorite movies. It's a comfort movie, and Mindy Project, then you'd like this. Oathbound by Tracy Dion, heck yeah. Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. No, I think this is her worst book that she's written, and oh man, it was not good. Not my cup of tea. It was bad. Glow of the Everflame by Penn Cole. Maybe. I think that it's definitely better than some other fantasies I've read, but it's still not amazing. I can't really tell you the plot. Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone. Absolutely yes. This is everything that I thought Say You'll Remember Me was going to be, and this was better. Check the trigger warnings. Cursebound by Sarah L. Arifi. Maybe you need to read the first book, Faybound, first. I liked it. The ending definitely has a plot twist, and I'm gonna read the next book. Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. Abso-frickin-lutely yes. Kennedy Ryan is a new to me author, and I'm obsessed with all of her works that I've read so far, which leads to This Could Be Us, yes, and Can't Get Enough, yes. I think Can't Get Enough is my, it's not I think, I know. Can't Get Enough is my favorite out of that trilogy. The Divide by Morgan Richter. I'm surprised by how much I enjoyed this book, although now thinking about it, I can't tell you what happened. Shoot. Maybe. Think fast, maybe. The Hunger Games, Suzanne Collins. Yes, if you know, you know, and you probably know. Get in My Swamp by GM Ferry. This was a joke. This was a fun, goofy, silly read that I read with Logan, and oh man, if I'm gonna be honest, no. The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. Maybe you have to read the first one first. Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage. Yes. 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 I'm going to give you a yes to the other books as well, even though I read them last year. I think you should read all of those and then read this one, and your heart will just flutter. Saving Face by Muncie Shaw. This comes out in August, and I'm going to say absolutely yes. My first book by Muncie Shaw, I was gifted the ARC for it, and I was on her street team to read it, and I was pleasantly surprised. There is so much more to this story. If you like Inventing Anna, then you'll probably like this book. If you like a woman who basically commits fraud to gain power and wealth, then you should read this book. There's also socioeconomic commentary on how life is for people who live in Singapore and have lived in Singapore. There's kind of this jump back and forth between timelines. It's so good. Water Moon by Samantha Soto Yambao. Probably, maybe. I really didn't like this book. I also don't read cozy fantasies as often, and I was just expecting this to blow me out of the waters. Is that saying? Maybe. Stay in My Swamp by GM Ferry. This is actually the sequel to Get in My Swamp. Yes, there is a sequel to Get in My Swamp, and this is going to be a no for me to recommend to you. Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. Yes. Great Big Beautiful Life. Okay, so this is a book that people either really enjoyed or they didn't. I had the lowest of expectations and I absolutely loved it. So to me, I would say yes, but to you, I might say maybe. I would recommend reading her other books first. My favorite is Funny Story, so maybe start with that one. Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins, yes. The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne, yes. This book is action-packed. There's multiple point of views, and they all have their own independent story that kind of converges and creates this larger plot, and it really reminded me of Lord of the Rings. Did I say yes? Yes. Square Waves by Alexandra Romanoff, yes. I surprisingly really liked this book. This is a second chance romance. I didn't like it as much as Set Piece. No, actually, that's a lie. I think I liked it more than Set Piece. I digress. The answer is yes. This is also a really short, sweet love story, and I just like everything that 831 Stories creates. The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. Yes, in my opinion, this is so much better than her first duology, and I can't wait for the sequel. The Secret History of the Rape Kit. Yes, check the trigger warnings. This was a very informative true crime story, and I never read true crime either, so I stepped outside of my comfort zone a little bit, and I'm glad I did. I'm trying to do that more these days. Deep Cuts by Holly Brickley. Maybe. This is a very character-driven, slow burn story. It reminded me of Normal People, which I absolutely love, but it didn't give me that same gut-wrenching Normal People feeling. If you read Normal People, you'd probably know. So maybe. Leaning more towards yes. Can I do that? These are my rules, so I'm going to do what I want. I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. Yes. Very weird, sci-fi dystopian, very strange. You'll still have a lot of questions after you read the book, but yes. A Number in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. Yes, I've only read the first one. I need to continue with the series, but this is one of my favorite fantasy stories that I've read this year, and one of my favorite new authors to me. Kaikeyi by Vaishnavi Patel. Yes, this is a Ramayana retelling from the point of view of Kaikeyi, who is the villain in Ramayana. And this was super interesting to me specifically because I am South Asian and I knew this tale from a different perspective. So it was interesting. I've said that already. I really enjoyed the storytelling. I listened to the audiobook. I liked it. So yes. The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I waited too long to read this, and I'm waiting too long to say yes. This was very beautiful, heartbreaking, devastating, sad, but also lovely at the same time. Love Madeline Miller's writing style, and I need to pick up Circe. Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. Maybe if you're wanting to read One Golden Summer, then yes, you should read this book. But I didn't care for it. I listened to it. I didn't care for the characters. Big womp womp moment there. Problematic Summer Romance, and a book that I didn't expect to love as much as I did. Yes. Frickin' yes. We have two more books. A Forbidden Alchemy by Stacey McEwen. Yes, if you enjoy Sabaa Tahir's writing style, then you'll want to pick this book up. This book reminded me of A Number in the Ashes, and I can't tell if I like one more than the other, and I don't have to choose. I shouldn't feel like I have to choose, so I love them both. Last book, Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. Maybe. This was fine as well. I feel really bad saying this, but Carly Fortune is just but then wait until you hear my review for One Golden Summer, because that, I'll give you a spoiler even though that is July, is 120% yes. So those are the 62 books that I've read so far this year. I thought, next up really quickly, I will just go through all of the books that I've DNFed. Those deserve a big womp womp, that's for sure. Okay, we'll start at the bottom. Oh, not at the bottom because I need to go to this year. Shoot, is it? I think we'll start right here. I'm pretty sure this is January of this year. Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This book was way too long and way too boring and too much was going on, but nothing was happening and the writing was bad. Under Lock and Key by Lana Ferguson. I was very disappointed in this book because I loved the fake mate by her. This just it wasn't interesting, and also I didn't like our characters. Land of Milk and Honey by C. Pam Zhang. This was for a book club for Rainy Day Books, and I can appreciate really descriptive writing styles, but this was too descriptive, and I kept falling asleep reading it. A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. DNF'd this because of some beliefs that the author has that I do not agree with. We Do Not Part by Han Kang. This author is just never going to be for me. Never. I don't know why I bothered to try again. Goddess Complex by Sanjana Sathian. This was an anticipated read for me. And it was definitely a book outside of my comfort zone. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember why I DNF'd it. I just did. And I'm a better person because I did that. Someone Like Us by Dinah Mengestu. I was gifted this book and I really gave it a chance and I just didn't want to read it. I read a few pages and I just couldn't get into it. And to me, I have to read a few pages to a few chapters. If by page 50 I'm not feeling it, then there's no point for me. I don't know. What's your limit for DNFing books? Let me know in the comments down below. Passion Tide by Monique Rafi. Same thing here. I think it was a wrong right book, wrong time moment where if I tried picking it up now, I might enjoy it a little bit more. So maybe I'll come back to it. And that's kind of said for all of these books right here. Might come back to, might not. Just really depends. Silver Elite by Danny Francis. Probably one of the worst books to have ever been created this year. And I say that I didn't finish it. I got pretty far though. Don't remember, 50%? A little less than that. Late Bloomer by Maisie Eddings. I'm so sad and shocked that I DNF'd this book, but I really couldn't see the connection that our two characters had emotionally and physically, and it was kind of a rivals to lovers, and for enemies to lovers or rivals to lovers, I think it has to be done really well or else I'm not going to buy into it. We Love to Run by Stephanie Reentz. This was an ARC gifted to me and I read about 50% and there's a lot of different point of views and it got boring very quickly at the 50% mark and I was forcing myself to read it and you should never do that. All right, those are the books that I DNF'd. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? I had to flip you around because my battery died and I wanted to charge it so I could record and charge at the same time. Multitasking queen. I think we should end it right here. We talked about all of the books that I read so far, if I recommend them or not, or maybe. We talked about the books I DNF'd, and I can't wait to see what books I read second half of the year. If you film a video like this, tag me because I would love to watch it. I hope this video type trend goes viral because it's just another fun way to reflect on our year so far. And I hope to do this again at the end of the year for the second half. I will see you in another video next week. Have a great day. Bye.